Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are so thrilled to have in the studio with us today Sheriff Captain Claudia Delgado. She's in the Poway Sheriff's Station. How you doing, Claudia?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me here. Good morning, you guys.
Just absolutely honored to have you on. We had Sheriff Martinez on. When did we have Kelly on? About
a month ago?
About a month ago,
yeah.
And just did a spectacular job. I know you heard that podcast. Yes. Claudia, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. We're celebrating her first anniversary being my co-host. She's done a great job, certainly have elevated our Spotlight show. So honored to have you continue in this role.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't believe it's been an entire year.
It's been an entire
year. It's been a pleasure, and it's been a lot of fun, and I've met so many amazing people. So.
We really have. Why don't you get us started?
Yeah. Well, you know, we always joke because Drew, I don't even know your name anymore. Drew, you know, kind of pokes me to ask the mission. But I mean, this is the sheriff's department. So I mean, to protect, to serve, how would you characterize the sheriff's department?
Well, just like our sheriff said during the podcast last time, our mission is to provide the highest quality public safety service to all residents of San Diego County. And we strive to provide the services and just, bring pride to our agency, our sheriff's office, by providing the best services to those communities that we serve.
Absolutely. Right. And you've been there for 18 years?
I've been in the department for 18 years,
Amazing.
yes.
Now, is law enforcement in your family? With your mom, your dad, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, or you're the first one?
I am the first one in my entire family. As a matter of fact, I never thought of being a cop. It was never something that I envisioned myself doing or even had an interest in growing up. I actually am a first-generation college.
Congratulations.
First-generation, thank you. Being in the United States, my family actually was, we were born and raised in Tijuana, Mexico. Uh-huh. And I came to the United States when I was 12 years old. Family uprooted us and wanted to chase the American dream. Mm-hmm. So my mom and dad, along with my siblings, my three sisters, moved up to the United States, and we lived in National City for a long time.
Oh.
So through high school, I wanted to be a pediatrician, and then I changed my major, and I wanted to be a teacher and a school administrator. And it wasn't until I worked at Polinsky Children's Center, and we had an incident where San Diego police actually had to come and respond to assist with the situation, that one of the officers actually offered us, like, hey, if you guys ever want to do a ride-along, to myself and a group of people. And I actually took on the offer. I said, I'll check it out. I went on a ride-along, completely changed my life, changed my outlook as to what I wanted to do and what I wanted to become in life. So.
Well, first of all, congratulations. Thank you for your service, to say the least. First responders, nothing more important in our world, including in the military as well. I mean, and listen, we can't talk about it enough. We can't shout out what you guys do enough. So you went to the National School District, is that correct? National is a school district in National City.
National City, and it was Sweetwater High School District.
For the middle school and high school.
Yes.
Exactly. So, we work very, very closely with all the schools and in that area, I think, as my business partner Charles was telling you and so forth on it. Most people don't realize that the Sheriff's Department in San Diego County will be celebrating its 175th anniversary next year. So shout out to that. We'll have you on quite a bit. And if I'm not mistaken, we're teeing something up that Charles, working with Sheriff Martinez, we're going to do a special remote from the Sheriff's Department on October 4. I'm not sure if you know that at all.
Yes, I'm aware you guys are coming to our headquarters.
Can't wait. Can't wait for that. Talk about the Junior Women's Academy. Sheriff Martinez was just singing your praises. And I said, we need to get Claudia on this one.
It was was just such an amazing program, such an amazing opportunity. So growing up, I've always had a passion of working with juveniles, whether it was a Sunday school teacher or teaching dance classes for San Diego Parks and Rec, or, Polinsky Children's Center, working as a detective for juvenile crime. So when I was introduced with this fantastic opportunity to develop a program for teen girls, I jumped on it. Yeah. It's the first of its kind here in San Diego County. And basically, we wanted to develop a program where we could introduce young women, young girls to career opportunities within the law enforcement community. And not just sworn positions, but also in a professional capacity, because we have both. Mm-hmm. Not everybody wants to be a cop, but we wanted to kind of show off our agency and bring insight as to what we do, what we are, and how we do it.
I think it's just, Tyler, you and I were chatting this before the show started. Something near and dear to our hearts on our Spotlight show is working with a group called the Classroom of the Future Foundation that's all about careers and colleges and so forth, and mentioned an event that's coming up called Soup Tank, where superintendents do a Shark Tank type of event. But I think the point of it all is, and we were just chatting with a previous guest, does Art Walk, is that, he goes, I'm a perfect poster child for this. I mean, I can't draw a stick figure, but I'm in art, and the same thing, as you mentioned. Talk about what are some of the different careers if you're not going to be wearing going on a sheriff's car, doing some patrol and all that. What else can you do?
So I'll respond that in two facets, because it was actually part of the program for the girls. We wanted them to see the many and varied opportunities that we have within our department. We have over 170 different positions or jobs that you can have. Most of them have development opportunities to promote or to move to different classifications. But overall, if you're not comfortable where you are, or if you want to start off as a patrol officer, but then you want to work, child abuse incidents, or, homicide investigations, or SWAT, or learn how to, fly a helicopter, these are all opportunities that we have. So we wanted to present the girls with representatives from the different jobs, both classifications of sworn and the professional side, and allow them the opportunity to sit in and hear about their everyday work. We had representatives from our Sheriff's Communications Center, our dispatchers. We had crime scene investigators, field evidence technicians. We had crime intel analysts. They're the ones that go into computer databases and, get information and gather information for detectives.
Right.
We also had our different positions within the sworn side. We had canine deputies, we had traffic deputies, we had defensive tactic instructors, we had our Astra helicopter pilots come and do a small presentation as well. So we had a varied option for them to sit in the classrooms and just almost, learn about the person behind the badge, the position, and one day in the life of, and you fill in the blank, whatever they wanted to do, and almost humanize the person, because there's a lot of stigmas with police, but we're normal people. We goof around, and, we have other things than just putting a bad guy in jail. So we wanted the girls to have an opportunity to interact and engage and ask questions and try on equipment. So they had a good opportunity to do that.
Yeah, and I think that's just so spot on. We're chatting with Sheriff Captain Claudia Delgado of Poway Sheriff Station on our Spotlight on the Community show. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 18th year. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, just doing great things for people living in San Diego County. Joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She's the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc., celebrating their 20th anniversary this year. Kristen?
Yeah, I wanted to dig into Junior Women's Academy because it sounds fun, it sounds informative and amazing. So is it a weekend event? Does it happen, annually or a couple times a year? Talk a little bit about the logistics of the event itself.
So the first academy that we had was at Palomar College in San Marcos.
Okay.
And we had over 50 girls participate in a 3-day academy camp-style program where they had the opportunity. The opening ceremony started with our Sheriff's Honor Guard, all female staff by design, everyone involved in the instructional segments. And the girls were able to partake in a round robin, if I may, of the classes, and they had an opportunity to attend those classes that they wanted to go. And In between the classes, they had the opportunity to have a lot of hands-on activities. They had 3 segments on internet safety, defensive tactics, and human trafficking awareness. We are aware that our 14, 15-year-olds are most vulnerable to human trafficking, so we wanted to bring that awareness to them.
Great.
So they had the breakout sessions to participate in over the 3 days. In between, we had a lot of icebreakers, and we had TikTok dance challenges and just opportunities to engage and interact with the staff. On the last day, we ended up having, so over the course of the 3 days, they had the different instructional segments. On the last day, on a Friday, we had a mini career fair. And again, we had an opportunity to bring even more specialized units within our department for them to just learn about what it is that they do. We had our recruiting team out there with the obstacle course and the dummy drag. So the girls were dragging the dummy and, jumping things and running and going through cones, almost like a little picture of what it is to be in an academy, in a police academy.
Yeah.
We had SWAT team and search and rescue, you name it. And we also had a motivational speaker, followed by a panel of remarkable women that have excelled in positions traditionally held by men, just to go through their hardships, the challenges, adversity that they went through to make it where they are today. And finally, we closed with a ceremony when we invited parents to partake, and they were presented with the certificates.
Well, that's fantastic. We come back from break. Claudia, we're going to chat more about the Junior Women's Academy, talk a little bit about your history. Wow, how things have changed probably a little bit from the time you started to what it is now.
Yes.
And maybe, talk a little bit about, this is why I encourage people to, male or female, to take a look at the, sheriff's department as a great career choice, whether you want to be, on the patrol or whatever the case may be. And then we always save time in the second half of the interview, Claudia, for what can our listeners do to continue to support the amazing work that you folks do. So give some thought to that when we return with Sheriff Captain Claudia Delgado of the Poway Sheriff Station on this Spotlight on the Community Show. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. We are brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, joined by my co-host Kristen Fogel. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are back with another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, nation's longest-running community podcast. We're now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, just doing wonderful work for anybody living in San Diego County. Honored to have Sheriff Captain Claudia Delgado in the studio. She's the captain of the Poway Sheriff Station, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Writers Inc. Kristen?
Yeah, we've been chatting about the Junior Women's Academy, which I hope continues forever and gets bigger. It sounds so cool. But what is the percentage of women in the department currently?
So our sheriff's department, we have over 4,100 employees.
Wow.
2,300 of those are sworn personnel. Mm-hmm. The rest of them are professional staff. And only 446 females out of those 2,300 sworn officers are female. So based on the numbers, obviously, we want to bring in more women. And that's why the goal was to kind of focus and pique the interest of the young females for career opportunities within our department. But everyone always says, well, why women? If you guys are really hurting, why isn't everyone? Of course, we want anyone to apply and be a part of our sheriff's office or organization. But women bring a different twist to the jobs that we do every day. So just by virtue of being women, we are great communicators. We, from the get-go, we tend to de-escalate a situation and bring a sense of calm and ease to an already hostile or critical, tragic incident that we respond to. So having a female there brings some calmness to the incident. They communicate effectively. They are great with community engagement and just connecting with people. Again, just by virtue of having that nurturing spirit. Great at multitasking. We can do 10 things at once.
Yep.
And we're just a good fit for, a predominantly male dominated career field. So we want women to come and apply and to realize that it's something they're capable of doing. Sometimes we put limitations to ourselves and we have no idea about the abilities that we have, the capabilities that we have, because they're repressed thinking, well, I don't know if I can jump a 6-foot wall, or what's going to happen if I have to encounter a 6-foot, tall man who's angry and doesn't want to go to jail. But you are capable of doing it, and we're going to give you the tools and resources to train and be able to do the job.
No, that's great. So we talked a little bit about this. You started 18 years ago, right? What would you say, you could probably talk about this for 6 hours, but what would you say the most amazing thing in terms of, boy, it's a lot different now than it was 18 years ago. Is it technology? Is it the attitude of the public? Is it anything in between? What is the biggest change?
I think it's a little bit of both. Obviously now I look at younger deputies who are starting their career and I'm like, man, did I wish I have those, technological resources that you guys have now that we didn't have before. Sometimes they see it almost as a nuisance, like, oh, another body-worn camera, or I have to do this or that. But at the end of the day, these are tools to help them as well to, be transparent and hold themselves accountable to the public who, for the political climate or what have you, they don't always trust the police. And, it's an honorable profession and it's something that's, generations old. And, before it was different. The times in the 20s and the 40s and the 50s, it was a different outlook towards police work, law enforcement. And now, there's officers that have, made wrong choices, wrong decisions that have, put a blemish on us, but it's an outstanding career. And it's just wonderful to be able to serve the communities and serve the public and help those that cannot help themselves.
Yeah, there's no question about that. So what can our listeners do to help support the great work that you folks do? Obviously say thank you for what you do. I mean, that never hurts, I imagine, right? What else?
So yes, and we have a lot of support from the communities that we serve and work in. Thank yous go a long way, but showing support through engaging in community events and just give back to us when we have National Night Out events or Faith and Blue events or coffees with the community or just events when we are out in parades or we have town hall meetings. Come and show your support. At the same time, those are opportunities that you have to engage with us and let us know any concerns that you have, to ask questions, to learn about what it is that we do. It's not just out there being, proactive and getting the bad guys off the street. There's so many other things that we do in these roles within our communities that are just part of serving. So to your question about what they can do is just be supportive, ask questions, and allow us to instill that sense of trust, because it really does take a village when they say to run a city, to live in a city. And the community is our eyes and ears out there. They're the ones that are going to be able to be witnesses, to report crime, to be comfortable reaching out to us when there's a problem so we can address it and bring, quality of life to those residents in the communities, again, that we serve.
Right. And again, as you mentioned, you guys, the swath is huge. What you do, you're one of the largest sheriff's departments in the nation. I know that, with a million things that you have going on daily. And obviously, things can change in 1 second based on what happens. And so you thought you were doing X, and now you're doing Y. And that, so you got to be so resilient in this. One of the things that I was very fortunate to do, and I wonder if you folks offer something similar. I went through an FBI Citizens Academy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Did you go through one?
No.
Yeah. And it's it was great. It was 7. They asked community leaders, so I'm not sure why they asked me, for God's sake. I guess they got the short stick on this. But you go through 7 days. It's once a week for 7, and then you're learning about just like you were describing. Bomb Squad does this, and the kidnap group does this, and then the internet group does X. Do you offer something like that? Obviously, you do it for the Junior Women's Academy, but how about for other folks?
As a matter of fact, we do. We actually have several different programs for citizens to become involved with, to learn more about our sheriff's office. We have a Citizens Academy. We also have a Spanish Academy that is 100% presented in Spanish for Spanish-speaking communities. And it's basically the equivalent of the Citizens Academy, but it's in Spanish. So we talk about our services. We talk about the do's and don'ts during traffic stops. We talk about, in the Spanish Academy, about immigration law. We talk about drugs, bring awareness to the different crime trends, or the different special units within our department, so they know the difference between a traffic cop and, a homicide detective. So it's very insightful, and those are 3 different academies. We also have the Explorer programs for 16-year-olds that are interested in law enforcement, or basically just want to do some community service for their school. But we have a myriad of programs for the community.
And if they go to the website, they can find all these?
Yes. You can find us at sdsheriff.net, and that is a public site where you can just navigate the website, and you'll find out about all these programs, how to apply for them, what it's required of you to apply for either a voluntary position or a police position, whether it is, again, for detentions, for law enforcement, or for the professional assignments.
So here's a question. How proud is your family that 12-year-old Claudia, who came from Tijuana, is now a captain? They must be beaming.
They are.
How is Claudia beaming?
They're just excited. They're proud of me for the accomplishments and for paving the way for my family, for my girls. And it's just a blessing. Right. No,
I think it's wonderful. And, can't thank you enough for coming in. We're excited to visit you on October 4 and do a special remote at the station. And just want to thank you and, Sheriff Martinez, your colleagues, and everybody for making San Diego literally one of the safest places in this country. And it's because of the hard work you guys do, only 24/7, 365, and on a leap year, 366, right?
Only.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you so much for everything. Any final comments you'd like to share with our audience?
Just, if you're interested in a career in law enforcement, our agency is the elite agency. They are a wonderful agency to work for. They're supportive, they're a family, and I'm very proud of our department. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're honored to have you. We're going to look forward to having more conversations with you and your colleagues as well. And can't thank you enough for what you do to make San Diego a very safe place to live, to work, and to play. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
You bet. Sheriff Captain Claudia Delgado, Captain of the Poway Sheriff Station. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades, doing great things for people living in San Diego County. As always, Kristen Fogel, thank you for co-hosting.
Thank you.
This was a very interesting one, and we're looking forward to continuing that conversation. We hope you enjoyed the show.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.